Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Gorilla Cross. I'm your host, Quan59, and we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about the NBA play-in tournament that's happening tomorrow in the West and Wednesday for the Eastern Conference. We have WNBA draft. We're going to talk about that and who will be the rookie of the year and even MVP, maybe a rookie being the MVP. We'll talk about that. Put your money on something. And we also are going to recap the UFC. Was this the best pay-per-view UFC of all time? We're going to talk about all that and more on today's show. But first, I have to introduce my co-host of the evening. Got my man all the way from Let the Ball Bounce that records right here in Gorilla Cross Studio. My man Dre Bailey in the building. What's good?
What's up with it, man? Appreciate the invite again. Let's go.
I have all the way from Into the West Comics, also from Gorilla Cross Studio. We don't have anyone that's not doing the show on Gorilla Cross Studio on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know why
That's
that
good.
is. But Frank, Vegas Frank in the building. What's good?
Good to be back with you guys. I'm excited to talk about all the stuff that happened this weekend. I know we're not going to spend a lot of time on the Masters or anything, but that was also great. It's always a great nap when you're watching the golf in the afternoon.
Yeah, Masters is a little bit different for me. Let me move you over here a little bit.
It's always fun.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with the Masters. This is our Masters moment, folks, right here. We're going to talk about it right now.
I won't try to force it on you.
And hi, Todd, from the comment section. My mom says she's waiting. I hope she's in there now. But yeah, if Tiger's not in it or doing good, I mean, he was in it. He made the first cut, but then did horrible after that. So if that's the case, I'm not watching. And that's just how it is. Like, dude who won the Masters 2 years ago, I had no idea that he won 2 years ago. And I'll probably forget when he wins in 2 more years that he won 2 years twice, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard like all the good players like didn't even make the cut anyways.
The Masters is always like a great equalizer for golf. And it seems like there's always some type of surprise because they try to build in their approach to how they go about the Masters. Is the reason that, you know, they have names for every hole that you're playing.
Oh, they have names for the holes?
They have nicknames for every hole, and it's like it always throws the players off. I think when it gets into their head And it's a tough course.
Every hole I hit has a name.
Oh, my word.
Just leave Trey on the screen there for a little bit. Wow.
I know my holes.
My goodness.
I mean, what did it do?
Yeah.
I like playing 18 holes, though.
All right. WNBA draft happened. It's still happening. It's funny. I wish all drafts would be like this, where they just throw up like 5 picks at a time.
Yeah, I wish they were like this too. I would love to see more guys in long dresses. But big ups to the women who've been really dressing to the T. I've seen some really dope tuxedos and suits that the young men, the young ladies have been wearing, and so. And some really nice dresses. Like somebody's been doing some really good styling going on.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the WNBA draft in a little bit, but we're going to get into first this weekend. And it was dope how they did it. The NBA season, they skipped Saturday. They played every team played on Sunday. I think that's the first time they've done that.
Yeah.
And they were all early games. So all the Eastern Conference played in the morning at 9 or 10. All the Western Conference played at 12:30. So if there were seeding issues, you couldn't look to see if this team wins, then we don't have to play our players tonight, or vice versa.
You didn't have the option to rest someone.
You didn't have the option to rest, even though teams did that because they kind of looked at all their options. Some teams were able to do that, but I thought it was really cool seeing all the games played at the same time, and you have every team playing on Sunday. I hope they, do that in the future too. So let's get into the play-in first. There were some big games yesterday that happened. Lakers end up dominating the Pelicans, so they kept their 8th spot, which if they would have lost, they could have dropped down to 10, which they would have been on the road in the play-in and had to win 2 games to make it to the playoffs. The play-in gets a little complicated. Once you know what it is, it's very simple. 7 and 8 play each other in the East and West. 1 through 6 make the playoffs. They're in. They already have their position. Their seeding's done. So you're playing for the 7 and 8. 7 and 8 play each other. Whoever loses that game, still stays. So now 7 and 8. If Lakers beat the Pelicans, they go to 7. They have the 7th spot. If they lose to the Pelicans, they play the winner of the 9-10, who is the Warriors and the Kings. Whoever loses that game is just out. Mm-hmm. Then 9 and 10 play the 8. The winner of that, they get the 8th seed. So we have the opportunity to see maybe Lakers and Warriors both not making the playoffs,
right?
Which we kind of talked about that a little bit. Lakers kind of own the Pelicans. They dominated them yesterday. I don't think it's going to be much different of a game tomorrow. It's the early game. It's the 4 o'clock game. So let's talk about that now. Zion had been playing great. I think they had been on a 5-game winning streak. They get Ingram back. And then Zion disappears again. There's something about the Lakers that Zion just disappears. Dre, go ahead and jump into this. And who do you think wins this game tomorrow?
So I got the Lakers. I got the Lakers beating the Pels again. The Pelicans just do not fare well against the Los Angeles Lakers. It's all about matchups, and I think it's going to be too much if AD comes in 80% healthy, 70% healthy. I still think it's going to be too much AD and too much LeBron James. LeBron James turns it up a notch, whether you like him or not, Laker fans. You're going to get a more aggressive, more, into beating this team and on to the next team attitude when it comes to LeBron James. I think everybody else is going to step their game up. And I just think that the Los Angeles Lakers are, they're a playoff built team. And I just think that there's just too much experience and too much overall basketball ability that's going on over with the Los Angeles
Now you have
Lakers
some of the media out there saying Lakers should tank because if Lakers win and get the 7th seed, they're playing against Denver.
If I'm the Lakers and I'm a competitor and I want to play the best team, bring on Denver.
Listen,
we lost to Denver last year. Let's play them.
You're going to have to face Denver anyways to win, right? So why not play them in the first round when you are healthy, when you have all your energy?
Yep.
And this is, man, as a competitor, it's like, no, give them to us in the first round because you're gonna have to play them anyways.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. If you lose to them in the first round, guess what? LeBron gets to rest a little bit for the Olympics, which is fine. But I just don't think that it's going to be as easy. And yesterday, to be honest, when I saw that Denver won and Minnesota lost, Minnesota losing pushed them down to 3. And I was, I think Lakers could beat Minnesota and OKC easy. I would pick them easy in the first round. But you would still have to face Denver at some point. So why not face them now? Frank?
I agree with you, but both of you what you're saying is getting the Nuggets early will only benefit the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think had they been playing in the conference semifinal or the conference finals, there's the normal wear and tear, and you don't know how everybody's going to be held up, like just physical. Like you're getting pounded on. You don't know if you're playing a long series with maybe Minnesota. They've got bigs and they've got people to throw at the Lakers. You don't know if they come into the series a little banged up,
right?
If they are able to advance past the Timberwolves and then play the Nuggets. I love the idea that they potentially can play the Nuggets early on. They're going to give them their best shot. They are, it was like Dre said, they're built for the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Lakers are built for this. And
one of the issues with people asking Lakers to tank this game tomorrow is you do not match up good against Warriors or the Kings because you've lost most of the games all season to both of them right now. And you dominate Pelicans, just get into the playoffs.
We're not going to have the Kings or the Warriors. One of those two teams won't be in the playoffs. And then after that, we might not have the Pelicans, Lakers, or Warriors in the playoffs. It's kind of weird.
And I think this is a perfect time, not to skip, but we could talk about it too. Perfect time for the Kings and Warriors to play that game because Kings want payback. They want payback for the Warriors beating them last year.
Yeah. Who do you got, Lakers and Pelicans?
Lakers. I
yeah.
think that they're kind of in their head. They beat them 3 out of 4 this year,
including the
and the
play-in
tournament.
in-season tournament.
Yeah.
There's play-in tournament and in-season tournament.
No
Confusing
BI,
one.
no Brandon Ingram for the.
Well, he came back yesterday.
Yeah, well, but he'll
be playing tomorrow.
He still won't be the BI that we know, right?
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. So moving on to the Kings and Warriors, like Dre said, the Kings looked like they were going to win that series last year. Warriors ended up coming back, beating them in Sacramento in Game 7.
An incredible game by
great
Steph.
game. And they ended up dominating the Kings when it was all said and done. So, I mean, this is one and done. This is NCAA tournament type game right here.
Loser leaves town match.
Loser leaves.
Yeah.
And the next one advances to see if they can get into the playoffs. So I'm excited about this. It's in Sacramento.
Sacramento gets another shot to make their wrongs right that they did last year, right? And so I really believe that Sacramento is going to miss, their Malik Monk, their sixth man of the year.
Yep.
They're going to miss that. But, the way that Fox was pretty much cursing out media the other day, it seems like he got a chip on his shoulder.
He does.
And so, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Sacramento beats a Golden State Warrior team that's been playing really well up to this point.
A lot better. This is going to be tough, man. This is really, to me, a pick 'em. I just have to see how Draymond and Klay play, because I really do think it depends on are they still playing how they've been playing the last couple weeks.
Right.
And if that's the case, then I think Golden State moves on. Steph's going to get his, and I think you kind of maybe even just let him get his. And if you contain Draymond and get into his head, frustrate him, you might even want to throw one of your, 8th, 9th players in there to kind of get under his skin and see if you can get him kicked out of the game, which isn't, it's not the hardest thing to do this year.
Nowadays, it doesn't seem very difficult.
At all, Right. So I think it all depends on that. I'm going to go with Golden State, though, just because they have that experience in a one-game situation. I'm going to go with Golden State, but I'm not going to be surprised if Kings win this game.
And I think, honestly, that's a good pick. But I'm going out on a limb again. If Golden State loses this game, it's going to tell Golden State Warrior fans something has to change.
Yeah.
And so
some retooling, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So this is a big game for the franchise of the Warriors, for the dynasty they've had. Because if they don't make the playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs,
Draymond got to go,
there's some
bro.
people that might be gone. Dre might not be there. Klay might not be there.
And the fact that
this could be the
Steph's
end
not
of
going
the,
in.
this could be the end of the franchise.
Yeah, and the fact
I mean, the dynasty.
the fact that Draymond's been playing really good as of late, they're looking at this like, is it a little bit too late for you to be playing this good? Because there were games we needed you and we needed this type of impact for you, and you weren't there.
You're talking about
mentally.
suspensions that are the games that they missed, and that they're in this situation with
Yeah,
a play-in.
man. If you
They
look
could have
at-
already been in. They could have been the
And maybe-
fifth or sixth seed had they not missed out
Yeah.
on these games. The whole Western Conference was tight.
Yeah.
It was compacted. You saw on Sunday.
And maybe that's why
everything being
Steph was
destroyed
crying.
on
even
Sunday.
even looking at the standings,
Yeah.
this might be the best Western Conference all overall ever from 1 to 10.
Right. It
Like
might
there's
be.
no team, like every team from 1 to 10 is five or six games over 500. They're 5 or 6 games over 500. There's 2 teams in the East that are under 500 that are in the play-in.
The 2 series that we have are in the West that we already know we're going to get. Those are going to be great matchups.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for the Western Conference playoffs, just in particular, because not as much as the East, just because Boston has been so dominant all year. I know we're going to talk about the East, whatever, but I'm excited to see how this goes with the play-in. I didn't really give my pick as far as the 9-10 game. I'm going to say Golden State wins close just because of the experience. I think they're going to be around for a good time. I don't think they're going to be around for a long time when they get into the actual playoff, because I think they're going to knock out New Orleans, and they're going to be the 8th seed.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to lose in 5 to the OKC. I think OKC is going to run off the court.
Wow.
Who's gonna lose 5?
What was their
OKC is going to beat Golden State
What was their
in
season
5
series?
games in the first round of the playoffs.
Do you have their season
Gentleman
series?
sweep?
A
Yikes.
gentleman's sweep.
Do you have their season series?
Their season series, I thought they split.
Did they?
Yeah, I can't see Steph
can't see
going out
5.
like that. I can see Steph helping that team get at least 2 games. I mean, I still take OKC winning if that was the case, OKC winning the series, but 5, a gentleman sweep,
Yeah,
I give them 6.
Yikes. Yeah, we'll see, and
I
we'll get to
think
that
he's
on
gonna be playing
Thursday.
temper tantrums and stuff. They're going to be playing in his head.
That's possible. Listen, if you guys are watching live on YouTube, please subscribe and comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We are live. I've had a few people text me asking if the link I sent them was a live link. And it is. If you want to call in, you can call in 702-608-3259. I'll put that in the comments section as well.
Okay, it was early. I'm sorry. They played 4 times. I didn't mean to interrupt
No, you're good.
you. They played Oklahoma City and Golden State played 4 times this year. Oklahoma City won 3 out of 4. And Oklahoma City, the game they lost at Oklahoma City was by 2.
Wow.
So they beat Golden State 3 times out of 4 times.
But it's a new season.
Sure, absolutely.
It's a playoff season, so it
Absolutely
And
definitely
Golden State
goes up to a
plays
different
better
level.
in the playoffs.
You're
too.
It's
absolutely
going to
right.
be a different level.
I'm saying
Draymond
Oklahoma City
determines.
afraid. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like they're not afraid of them in the regular season. Maybe they're too young and dumb to know they're supposed to be afraid. So that could do something where they just go in there like they don't know better than to just go in there and beat Golden State. But I think how far they get depends on Draymond. I really do. Like, what's he going to do? Where's his head going to be?
It could be something similar to what we experienced last year with Sacramento. Is just that Golden State had the experience and that they look a certain way during the regular season, and then when they actually have to play, maybe it's a long series.
But Golden State has 2 road games they have to
Sure.
play to get into
Yeah.
the playoffs.
correct.
Well, last year's when Golden State played Sacramento in that 7th game, still Draymond and Clay still didn't show up. It took a masterful performance by Steph just to
50.
win in that
50 in game 7, right? 50 plus.
He has 50
Yeah.
in Game 7.
So
That was ridiculous.
same team,
Yeah.
same teams. So
That was a
But
good
you're
series.
missing
It really
Herter.
was.
You're missing Herter and Malik
And
Monk.
that
Malik
hurts,
Monk.
bro.
That's
that
going to be
hurts.
rough. But I mean, we've seen De'Aaron Fox light it up on anybody at any given moment.
Yeah,
So
because Steph can't hold him.
He can't hold him, and he could go for 25 in the fourth quarter alone.
True.
At any moment, and I think that's what it's going to take for the Kings to win, and I think they can. But I'm excited, man. I think the play-in tournament. A lot of people, when it first started, didn't like it. I wasn't sure about it, but I think it's one of the greatest things that the NBA's done to get excitement for the playoffs and for the first round.
How ironic LeBron James didn't like the play-in when they first started. In the last couple of years, he has to
be in it every
the
year.
play-in.
He's had to be in it every year, and then they missed the playoffs the only other year that they weren't in the play-in.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah.
But at the same time, does he know that? And would they play a little different in the regular season to make sure they got that 8th seed?
Right.
Who knows?
Well, I mean,
because I think you play a little different knowing, and especially what they did last year.
Davis played the most games he's played in years.
Played 71.
His entire career.
Played 71 this year.
And
LeBron played 71 too, I believe.
Well,
or 68, 69.
He
didn't miss that many games.
Yeah, I think that stat that AD has played 71 games, the most games he's ever played in his entire NBA career. Yikes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And he's been putting up MVP numbers. Let's stop playing around. This dude, definitely should make first team all defensive, if not, but he's been playing phenomenal. And he's been pretty healthy up until last game. He went out with little back spasms, I guess.
Well, I think he looked at the seeding and saw that Denver was winning and Minnesota wasn't, and was like,
He had a back spasm when he saw the seeding?
Yeah. Oh. had to play Jokic.
All right.
He doesn't fare well against Jokic and Sabonis.
Well, to be fair,
I think we get a
people
different AD this year in the playoffs against those two. I think he's gonna play lights out.
Listen, if AD plays lights out the way he can, and LeBron's playing the way he's playing, and D'Angelo Russell has to play like he played the second half of the season and not like he played against them in the playoffs. But if he does, Lakers have better talent all around, I believe, than Denver. I really do believe that. All around. They have a deep bench. Denver doesn't.
Yeah, but I think Denver's bench, even though they're not deep, they have guys that are system guys that are already been there. They've already established, and they're comfortable in their roles. And so they show up in big games.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count Denver's bench out at all.
Yeah, but if Lakers play the way they've played, the players, if they play the way they've been able to play this season, but D'Angelo has to show up. LeBron's going to show up. AD has to show up every single game.
I like the fact that they're playing him earlier. Put it that way.
Yeah.
If they had to go through multiple series, I'd be more nervous.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they get to play them in this first official round of the playoffs.
And
if
how
this is how it goes,
yeah.
we don't know that they're going to win the game tomorrow. We're assuming they are. Yeah.
How scary are the Lakers for the rest of the league if they go to the first round and beat Denver? I think the Western Conference gets scared to death now.
I mean, I don't know if they get scared to death. I just think that it just changes the trajectory of, wow. Like
if they beat Denver, who do you think could take out the Lakers in the West?
Nobody, because I think Denver is the best team in the West.
No. Okay.
I think Denver's the best team in the West.
Yeah.
I actually think that there's a team that could match up with them that could star power.
Minnesota.
Dallas.
Oof,
because I think
series.
Kyrie would just I don't
would
know.
be a
Kyrie's played pretty well
series.
this year.
We keep forgetting about Dallas.
And Lakers,
they're a lot better.
I forget
this
about
year.
them all the time.
Yeah, Lakers-Dallas rivalry goes all the way back to Dirk Nowitzki.
Yep.
And I would love to see that. That would be
same.
So Dallas is playing the Clippers in the first round.
Yep.
I got Dallas in 7.
Well, before we go, let's go to the East first for the play-in. And once again, if you guys are watching live on YouTube, let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching on Facebook, move over to the YouTube, subscribe, like the video, comment. It helps with the algorithm. So if you guys like helping with the algorithm, do it. The WNBA draft is over. So Natalie can finally be here. Natalie, what's up? Tell your homegirl to jump in too. She was supposed to be on today, but then she's like, wait, the draft. So yeah. Melissa, Girl Chat Sports, supposed to be in the studio with us.
Come on.
But she couldn't because she had WNBA draft and having a draft party. They all wore orange.
Yeah, but they didn't watch any person get drafted past 10. Come on, Melissa.
That's what I'm
stop.
saying. You could have been here. Anyways.
The 3 picks were in that 10-minute window.
Pretty much.
Anyways, let's move on to the Eastern Conference. New York somehow got the 2 seed. Julius Randle went out. Everybody said New York was done. They end up getting the 2 seed. Milwaukee Bucks fall to 3. Giannis has been hurt. This is not a good look for Milwaukee dropping down to the 3, but we have the 76ers versus Miami in the 7-8 matchup, and then we have the Bulls and Atlanta to see who's going to not make the playoffs. Whoever wins that will still not make the playoffs. We'll see. I'm picking Philly in the 7-8. I'm picking. It's a toss-up with this game. I'm gonna pick the Hawks in the 9-10 matchup against the Bulls.
Interesting. I'm gonna pick Philly. I got Philly definitely winning that game.
And this is the Philly team before Embiid went out was 2-3 the whole season
Right.
before Embiid went out. So this is that team again
Yeah.
that you have to face as a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, I got Philly. I got Philly winning that game, and the next game in the play-in game, I'm going to, maybe go out on a limb and go with Chicago beating Atlanta.
Yeah, Chicago actually did look really good against New York yesterday. It was a very good game. I mean, they're both trying. Chicago was already where they're going to be, and they still didn't rest anyone because they didn't want to wait till all those games off to play. They wanted to be fresh to be able to play Atlanta on Wednesday. So they look good even without Zach LaVine. They're missing a lot.
Zach LaVine is hurt every year.
Yeah,
You can't count on that guy.
yep.
Caruso yesterday, man,
Looks good, man.
played out of his mind.
Yeah, and he has championship experience.
Yep.
He's going to give you the dog that he has in him. One of the reasons why, Lakers considered bringing him back also. I still think that DeMar DeRozan, Caruso, I think the most, in my opinion, most improved player in the NBA. Kobe White, heels.
Love him.
I just think it's just going to be too much of them guys.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you got Trae Young, who definitely steps it up a little bit different in the playoffs as well. He's one of those players that
He
is
is
a
a
killer.
dog.
It's a
And you
weird
got,
stat, but the Hawks are
DeJounte
3-0
Murray.
in the
DeJounte
play-in.
Murray.
What's that?
The Hawks are 3-0 in the play-in thing.
Really?
They haven't lost a play-in game.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a weird stat. I
Yeah.
mean, because you really don't want to be in that
Yeah.
position to be in the play-in.
Well, I think if Hawks lose this game and don't make the playoffs, then they're looking to shop.
were they playing when
Trae
they
Young.
went to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago?
I think they were the 7-8 game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
so,
they were
I
the
mean,
7-8 game.
Listen, these play-ins have been like they go deep into the playoffs.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's just the pressure they face to win and get into the playoffs that gives them momentum in that that confidence to be able to go far. But listen, man, they are. I just don't see them either them or Chicago beating Miami. But then again, it's going to be one of those years where Miami, they don't turn it on like we all think they will. And now they're missing a lot of key players that they had last year in the playoffs. Gabe Vincent, who came to the Lakers and isn't doing anything. You got Strus, who went to the Cavs, who's actually doing really well for them. Actually looks better this year than he did last year in Miami.
Yeah.
So they lost a lot, didn't gain a lot from last year's NBA Finals team. But I'm going with Philly, and then I am going with Miami to take the 8th seed. And then
Yeah, I'm going to go Miami taking the AC too.
the 6th is Indiana.
Indiana playing
So
Milwaukee.
I'm legit picking the 2 and 3 to both lose in the first round.
Wow. 2 and the 3.
2 and 3. I don't think New York is beating Philly.
No. New York is not beating Philly.
Interesting.
And
not
I
happening.
don't think Indiana's dominated Milwaukee all year. Dame wants out.
Already.
He's wanted out since he got there. But you can tell his body language. I don't know if he's going through things, in his personal life too, but he does not want to be there. And then with Giannis being hurt going into the playoffs, I just don't see it happening, man.
No, I don't see them beating Indiana. Indiana is probably on the verge of being the first team to score 200 points. I mean, the other day they scored 156 points to win their victory.
So that means you're picking the 2 and 3 to go out also.
Most definitely. I said that a couple weeks ago that the 2, 3, and maybe 4 may lose in the first round.
The 4 is Orlando.
The 4 is Cleveland.
Cleveland
and
plays
is the
Orlando.
5, yeah.
And
that's
would
a good
not-
matchup. That's
and
going to be
I
a
wouldn't be
good.
surprised at that either.
And that's what I'm talking
That's
about.
going to be a 7-game series right there.
I like Orlando.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. They got that guy over there from Duke that's actually
Paulo
pretty
Banchero,
good.
listen, man, people are sleeping on him. They don't know who he is yet,
He's
which is
good.
weird because he's one of Duke's best NBA players. which actually lately they have. Brandon Ingram, Jason Tatum.
Yeah, the past
Zion
7-8
Williamson.
years, Duke's been putting out some pretty good products as far as being productive in the NBA. Before that
market's weird too,
Yeah.
Orlando, because you can get into a game unless they're playing somebody really big coming into town. You can still go to games for like $28.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
They're weird.
I mean, I wouldn't sleep on Orlando. They got
Not
something
at
to
all.
prove, and they're hungry, and they're young. And if they keep that team together,
And the 4 or 5 is never an upset. It's just like one team
No.
has home court. They're basically very equal.
You split
in
the
any
first two
conference,
games,
it's
and all
always-
of a sudden you don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, so
there.
I really do think that it's going to be a 7-game series. That's a series I really am interested to watch, because both those teams could also go to the Eastern Conference Finals easily.
yeah. And what's the health of your guy over in Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell? What's his
I
health?
think he's healthy. They rested
As far as I
everybody
know.
yesterday.
Yeah.
They didn't want to win.
But he hasn't been as healthy going towards the later part of after All-Star break. He's missed a lot of games.
But here's the crazy thing: Cleveland, they threw that game yesterday.
I was gonna say,
they had a
Cleveland
chance.
couldn't move. They couldn't move, or they could move.
They
up.
could have moved to number 2.
That's right.
If Knicks and Milwaukee both lost, and they ended up resting everybody, and then they were in the game. They pulled everybody in the fourth quarter. Tristan Thompson was playing in the fourth.
yeah.
So they wanted to be where they're at. They wanted to face Orlando because they didn't want to face Indiana, Philly, or Miami in the
I'm gonna
first
tell you
round.
this.
Be careful
And
what
that
you
might
wish for.
bite
Be
them.
careful what
That
you
might bite
wish
them.
for.
Yeah.
I feel like you win every game possible. You do everything you can, get whatever seed you can, and face who you got to face.
Yeah.
Because to win the championship, you're gonna have to face the best anyway. So
Yeah. Stop dodging them.
yeah,
I mean, maybe they felt comfortable. In
I
the
think
spot
I
playing
think,
them,
and
so, I don't know.
if I'm the coach of Orlando, I'm looking at my team and I'm like, hey, they try to
they wanted to play
disrespect us.
Yeah,
It'll be a little bit of a motivator, I think, if you're Orlando. Plus, they're a young team that's like, it's kind of like we don't know any better, to where it can carry us through a series to upset. I think they could definitely beat
Yeah,
Cleveland.
most definitely.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
We'll see.
All right, we'll talk more about this on Thursday because the play-in will be set. Correct? No, it won't be.
It won't be.
It won't
until-
be set yet
until
until Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it on Let the Ball Bounce on Saturday, and then the playoffs start
Saturday.
Sunday. They start Saturday.
Playoffs start Saturday. So when you have, I think, whatever the 7 seeds, both of the 7 seeds will play Saturday. You settle whoever is
wins
going
on
to be
Friday
your
will
8
play
seed
on
Friday.
Sunday.
Will play Sunday.
That's rough.
So if the Lakers win tomorrow, we know they're playing like Saturday at noon or something,
Yeah.
or 2 in the afternoon, something like that.
Against Denver, which will be an ABC game. Let's just let you guys know that right
And
now.
I think ratings wise, going into the NBA Finals, if you do get a Los Angeles Lakers and Denver Nugget matchup in the first round, the TV is going to be glued to that series.
Yeah.
ABC will just have a huge basketball boner. They'll be
Seriously.
thrilled about that. ABC, ESPN, they will be really boinged out.
I
Absolutely.
don't know if you can say that word on YouTube.
Yeah, I haven't said that word since 6th grade.
Oh, sorry. They'll be boinged out. 6 to
Boinged out.
midnight.
Boinged. Yeah, man. I think
basketball
it's. I love it, man. I love it. NBA is fantastic over at my house. I love it, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the tip off, Rose. So
Yeah.
real interesting.
Let us know who you guys got in the comments, Lakers or Pelicans tomorrow, Warriors or Kings. And then who do you have? Philly and Miami on Wednesday, and Chicago and Atlanta. Chicago's just, they've both just been at that
They're a
same
wild
spot
card.
every year. It's like, bro, it's almost better for you to lose and just start getting better draft picks.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
they're just at a very weird spot, and I want to see Chicago be a good team. There's some teams in the NBA that I always want to see them be good. Chicago's one of them. Detroit's one of them, which we have a Detroit stat. Detroit Lions and Detroit Pistons have the same amount of wins this season. 14.
yikes.
Detroit Lions have their best season ever, and the Pistons matched them with 14 wins. How do you guys feel about that? And people are saying Monty's job is safe, but it is safe because they just paid him millions. He has
Yeah.
the biggest contract.
And I don't think it has anything to do with the contract as much as it has to do with the youth. This is a young Pistons team, and he's actually trying to find players who actually know how to play the game right. And he's got one of the youngest teams in the league. You're not going to win a lot of games like that. But I think he's on to something, and I think that Pistons organization is on to something. They have another great draft. If they do another good draft, I think, they double, maybe 10 more wins next season. So
to have those guys buy in for another year.
Yeah,
and,
man.
You have a young core. A lot of those guys are in their first, second, third year in the league. And then when they're in the summer league, the Olympic Committee, they sort of announced like their roster is going to be for USA Basketball. None of the Pistons players are being selected for that. Have all those guys buy in. Have them come to Vegas for the summer league and just spend time, build your culture, be together, support these guys in the summer league, and they can buy into that. It's a big bonding experience. It's something you carry over for the younger guys.
I think it's a great, like you said, I think it would be a great experience for those guys to do that, because let's think about it. Orlando Magic was just there a couple of years ago before Paulo came in. They were like right there, and it's like, they're one player away from actually being a little bit more competitive. I think the Pistons are in the same boat. I think cleaning house, getting these young guys, getting Monty in, paying him this huge contract. He's a great teacher of basketball. Let's just be honest. I think that he was let go in Phoenix way too soon. Yeah. Just my opinion. And I think every place that let him go was, they let him go way too soon. I think he's a great coach. And I think coaching these young guys over in Piston is going to, show dividends for them next season.
Yep. No, I agree. I think they can.
They need to get some vets there. So, you need to see improvement next year, though. They can't go and win 14 again. You need to see them.
You need to have
get in the 20s,
10,
maybe
15
even 30s.
more games. Yeah. I think they'll be good.
But they are a good young squad. We kind of dealt with that with Oklahoma City, and now they're the first in the West, which they weren't expected to do that this year. They got into the playoffs or play-in last year, which was a surprise. And then this year, they just totally took over and are leading the West in, as the one seed. So
and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should have his name in that MVP hat also. Yep. And Clippers, how dare you trade this guy? I'm still taking Shai Gilgeous over Paul George right now, any day.
You make the argument that you would have Shai over any of these dudes now at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Or a combination of them.
Yeah.
He could win the MVP. It's probably going to go to Joker, but they got the first seed. So if it's close, don't you look at that and be like, yo, this dude got a young team to the first seed in the Western, in a tough Western Conference.
Yeah.
With the first seed with 3 first-round picks this year.
They got a young team, and then they got Giddey, who likes young girls. I think it's a perfect combination. Perfect combination.
He likes feminine women.
Anyways. All right, moving on. Let's jump into, real quick, the WNBA draft.
Let's do it.
And Frank, you had an interesting stat I want you to bring up. Not a stat, but a betting line.
A little odds thing for you. Okay. So currently the Indiana Fever are 20-1 to win the WNBA finals, but
20-1.
Our savior, Dre likes to call her the Tim Tebow of the WNBA. Miss Caitlin Clark is 18-1, not to win Rookie of the Year. She's 18-1 to win WNBA MVP.
I'm going to go put $500 down that she does not get the MVP of the WNBA.
Just gotta find the favorite and bet that. Yep.
Now, how much would I win if it's what? What's the 18-1?
18-1. If you were betting on Caitlin Clark?
No, if I was betting against her.
Can you bet against her?
You can bet a yes/no thing, but the odds wouldn't be that great. Yeah. It would be like a minus 140. Plus
oh, okay. Well, then I'll just put $100 down that she just will not win MVP.
Yeah.
But, Rookie of the Year, maybe.
She could win Rookie of the Year,
But MVP?
MVP. So here's the thing. That's people betting already that have never watched the WNBA.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of... This is good for the WNBA because there is going to be a lot of new WNBA fans.
How often do you think people bet on WNBA games like that, like casually?
That's what I'm saying.
More people will be now.
And that's why I think it's good for the WNBA to have this hype because there's going to be more eyes on the league.
I ordered Dre's Caitlin Clark jersey.
You going to wear it?
It's medium.
Absolutely not.
What the heck?
And I don't have no hate for her. No.
You're not
You
gonna
put
wear
up
it
the
again?
wall.
I mean, I probably put it in a trophy case or
All
something.
right, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But MVP, I mean, I don't think people realize how many good players there are in the WNBA right now. New York and Vegas are stacked. They have 2 players or 3 players on each of those teams that could win the MVP.
I think they're going to be gunning for her. They're going to make her work. And so if you are a defensive stopper in the WNBA, you can't wait for Caitlin to come in so you could put some of this grown woman defense on her. Now, will it work all the time? No. She's more built like a Steph Curry when it comes to the threes.
She's going to be shooting lights out. Still.
Lights out. 1, 2, 3 feet beyond the half court line, and she's pulling up. You're just going to have to pick her up, a little earlier than 30 feet.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
They're co-favorites. I mean, you mentioned the Liberty and the Aces. The Aces are like +1. It's basically going to be even money by the time the season starts. And New York is +230. So basically 2.5 to 1 odds that the Liberty win. The Aces, by the time the season starts, it'd be about even money.
Yeah.
So you're not really making much.
Nobody's beating the Aces. Las Vegas Aces will three-peat again.
I agree.
They got the best coach in the game. They got the best players in the game. And they just picked up a great point guard from Syracuse.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's real good.
Wow.
His suit was popping today. Lineup was fresh.
And then they took Kate Martin and they took the girl from Virginia Tech on her crutches. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be playing at all.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The Aces are so stacked. I don't know if the rookies are going to even make the squad or get playing time. I think girl from Syracuse will. But
She's back at point guard.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we already have a lot of point guards. Also.
She's good though.
She's good. She's good.
Solid. Yeah, for sure.
But WNBA needs a WNBA G League now. Something.
Who's going to fund that?
The NBA, and then they'll.
I don't think they need to be giving out too much more money to anybody else before they pay these WNBA ladies. I think if the ladies and more people show up to the games, the attendance gets up, and they're actually working towards moving away from the NBA so that they can work on their own TV deals and things like that. I think the minimum required salary for any of the draftees going into the WNBA should be at least $1 million. And if you're
they
paying,
got a ways to go though.
Yeah. Hopefully it gets there eventually, though. I mean, with all this hype, and then Juju Watkins, if she does what she's supposed to do in a couple years, and she comes in the WNBA and just brings a whole other spark.
And let's be honest, how long is the WNBA?
40 games.
40 games.
They went up
Right.
to 40 from
Right, but month-wise, like it's what?
about 3 months.
It's
About
it'll
4
be a
months.
little longer this year because they take the month off for the
Right.
Olympics.
So even if you're getting paid $250,000 for 3 months, for 4 months, how many other jobs can you make that amount of money
But
in
Dre,
4
what
months?
they used to have to do, I'm talking just like 10, 12 years ago,
Yeah.
all the women that played in the league, I'm talking about your stars.
Had to
like
go
the
overseas.
they had to play all year.
Yeah.
They had to play all the time to make what they could make just now
Yeah.
from the WNBA. So, I mean, I get it. There should be some, figuring out, make it more, make it more worth their while, more equitable for them in the long term, because they're capped at what they can pay some of these players because they don't have a huge salary cap.
Or
to
if they're
spend
not
on
going
all
to
these
pay the WNBA ladies, give them an NIL deal for the WNBA. Have them have some type of deal.
And I deal for WNBA.
something.
I mean, something.
I mean, some of these girls are making a lot more in college. That's why they're
That is
they're
what
staying
I'm
longer
saying.
too. So,
Angel Reese technically could have stayed a little
but here's
longer.
the thing: endorsements are going to come, so they are going to be
Sure.
making more money now, outside of just the league, because of how much more hype they're getting, and this is going to help everybody overall in the WNBA. The hype.
The tournament was a huge success. It's been great for the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
It's increased the visibility of women's basketball just as a whole. And the fact that I think it's a good thing, I used to think it's kind of weird, but it's a good thing that it goes right into the season.
Yeah.
Because you've built in, like you've be able to attach yourself to some names and some schools. You're like, oh, where is she going? Okay, she's with this team now. I just saw her at the tournament. I kind of picked out this player. That I'm recognizing players. We were just talking about it before we started today. We're recognizing players that you wouldn't have picked up on 4 or 5 years ago in the draft. you know, because you saw them play for the tournament.
Shout out to everyone in the chat watching. Please like the video if you're watching. We got 3 likes and we got 10 people watching right now. Sportsanista, we're going to get her in the studio soon. Bring some goldfish. She was at UFC. She hit me up. She went to the press conference at T-Mobile, but it was at MGM. So she's like, why is no one here? It was at MGM. But shout out to Sportsanista for tuning in. My mom's watching. Tamika Bolton. Natalie is watching. Her Knicks are going to lose in the first round. She's not happy about that. She thinks they're going to go all the way, and they're not. But
Patrick Ewing's not walking through that door.
No.
And neither is Charles Smith.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Neither is I was trying to think of
John Starks,
WNBA Liberty player from the past.
Ron Harper.
Ron Harper, he played in WNBA.
Who's their Witherspoon?
Yeah,
Teresa
Witherspoon. Teresa
She was
Witherspoon.
great.
Yeah, she was great. She was great.
Rebecca Lobo is not walking through that door.
No, it's not. It's tragic.
So who wins Rookie of the Year? Is Caitlin Clark a lock for the Rookie of the Year?
I mean, if we're looking at all of the rookies that were actually drafted, I'm going to go with Caitlin Clark. I mean, they are giving her.
You got Cardoza from South Carolina.
Yeah, but
she was the second pick.
They're giving Caitlin Clark the keys.
Sky.
She went to the Chicago Sky.
The Sky, and so did Angel Reese.
Angel Reese went to the Chicago Sky. Yep, Angel Reese.
Angel Reese went to the Sky.
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
I was thinking
both of them. I mean, you got one center and your forward.
Chicago's going to be looking good in a couple years.
Well, yeah, good on the court as far as basketball.
Oh yeah, that's all I'm talking about.
Yeah,
not good off the court.
I mean, depends on.
Come on, Dre.
How cold it is.
They wear makeup.
Yeah, I mean, I really give the WNBA ladies. They really showed style today. Seriously, and I was impressed.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna make a huge impact with the Fever.
They're giving her the keys.
They're giving her the keys to the city essentially already.
And the green light. I mean, she's like the Prince Fowler of Western here in Vegas, but now she's
Shout out to Prince Fowler.
Yeah. Wow. You haven't heard that in a while. Huh?
Big ups Prince Fowler, man. That's my guy. But
I thought some of our Cimarron players were good till I went to the Western game.
Man, Prince Fowler will
made Roderick look like
he would pull up 1 foot past half court and pull up. But guess what? Coach Stein gave him the green light. And when you are a point guard or the one that has the basketball 90% of the time, and the coach gives you the green light, and that's what Caitlin Clark has, the green light, she's gonna put up some points and some buckets.
Absolutely.
And that's that.
And they have a good team, man. Aaliyah Boston from South Carolina got drafted there last year with the first pick also. Sportsanista, she's taking Cardoza as Rookie of the Year. I think it's very possible. So we'll see.
She's going to get a lot of work.
It's gonna be fun. Like I'm excited to watch. Like I was joking around about it, but I really am excited to watch. Like I love the Aces, and I usually just watch Aces games. Sometimes I'll watch Liberty and some of the other good teams, or it'll be on. But I'm actually excited to watch some of these rookies come in.
We'll watch the games. We'll get the
Natalie, give us the link to that league pass.
Yeah, come on, hook it up.
It's only $20, I think, but there's only 40 games. So, hey, reminder: NBA season is over, folks. If you have league pass, they will keep charging you all summer long. I realized this last October. I looked at my Amazon. I'm like, why is Amazon taking Prime out every month? Because I get League Pass through Amazon, and it's the same price as Prime, $14.99 a month.
You got to go in there.
I had to talk to Raheej from India in the chat and let him know, like, hey, I haven't used League Pass since the season ended in April. Like, I need May, June, but it was cool because I get that money back. It was a lump of like $70-something that I got back.
You sure it wasn't Haji from Johnny Quest?
It might have been Haji.
Okay.
Haji. Wow.
Or Marak from, I don't know. How can we help you with the refund of your...
Oh, my word.
What? Please take the camera off of me, please.
Gee.
That's awesome.
But yeah, make sure you cancel your subscriptions because they will keep charging you over and over and over again.
And cancel Quan too while you're at it.
All right, moving on. Any other thoughts about WNBA?
I can't wait. I can't wait to watch.
And we need to just get our media credentials this year. We talk about it every year.
Yeah.
We need to just start doing that.
I can't wait to watch, 5-6 more games than I watched last year. And I love basketball though, man. I'm a basketball head. I watch
And real
more.
talk,
the
the women's game is good. It's a different game than the men's.
Bro, I've been watching WNBA games, and I watch more WNBA games than I do NBDL games, the G League games. I just do.
Yeah.
WNBA, G League, yeah, give me WNBA, right? And the fact that we do have two championships here in Las Vegas with the Las Vegas Aces, I am going to be purchasing a couple of more tickets, man, so we can go and watch them play, man. But we need to get the media credentials, man, so we can go out and support our Lady Aces.
I think you should just be like buy in.
Yeah.
If you're local, I mean, in Vegas, if you're on the fence about watching the WNBA, I mean, just get on board. It's time. It's been a lot of fun the last few years, obviously, to watch them have the success that they've had.
Yeah.
And they're a really good team.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm not just saying because they're our team.
Yeah.
They're a really good team. If they were still playing in San Antonio, Dre, I'd be saying they're very good.
And go and support the Lady Rebels, y'all. Like, stop it.
For real.
Like, we got Lindsay LaRocca over there. That's my girl. Her dad was my high school coach over at Durango, Coach LaRocca, and so Al LaRocca. And go and support the Lady Rebels, y'all. Like, don't just wait till the Aces come in town, man. The Lady Rebels are dope. They got a dope coach, come from a great basketball stock. Stop it. Because I'm going to more Lady Rebels games for the next upcoming season also. So.
Yeah. Hopefully they could win some tournament games once they get to the NCAA tournament. But, keep supporting them.
Yep. Keep
supporting the local sports. And hockey real quick, the Vegas Golden Knights, and we'll be talking about hockey much more in the playoffs. I got to get more people like Frank that know about hockey. I know, Dre doesn't really watch hockey, never been to a Knights game yet.
No, because they're still using a black puck to actually hit the puck with, and until they change the puck color, I'm gonna be
I mean, isn't it the racist? It's a white stick hitting a black puck. Well,
why can't it be
no,
red?
the stick's actually black too, so it's
Why
kind of
can't
black on
it be
black.
red?
It's kind of black on black.
Why can't it be red or yellow, or why does it have to be black?
Well, I think the material it's made out of is black.
Okay, so we're in 2024. You can't get a different material in a different color?
It's rubber. I don't know. That's a good question, though. I don't think many people have brought that up. Maybe we'll send the league a note about that and question that.
So
because it'd be easier to see if it was red, but then the line's red, so you wouldn't be able to see it on the line.
Yeah. I don't want a bunch of excuses. I just want either the puck color to be.
Let's make the puck white. Let's make
I want
the
it to
puck
be
white.
ice blue, so I can't see it.
Let's make the puck white.
I mean, or yellow.
You wouldn't be able to see it on TV at all.
You would not.
No.
Or even on the ice.
Didn't they have a thing where
just
they were
make
doing
it a piece of ice?
Fox
My
was
mom
doing
told you
the
to stop,
thing
Trey.
where Fox was doing that thing on. They were broadcasting NHL games, and they did a thing where they had the puck was like glowing. They tried to put a light on it or something. That didn't work.
It didn't work out very well.
Well, they kept breaking it.
Yeah.
They're trying to put it. They were tracking it where it's lit up, and
not gonna work.
just break it.
Change the puck color and I'll go.
All right.
And then I'll stop, moms. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Listen, we'll have to take you to a game next year.
Yeah, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
There's more black people than you think in the crowd.
So it's like 10.
There's at least 100.
12.
Okay, 12.
There's at least, I'm going to count next time I go.
There is not 100 black people at an NHL game in Vegas. Stop.
There are. They're all married to white women.
No, he's probably right. There's probably about 100.
No, it is not 100. If there is 100, please show me. If there is 100 black people at any game, I'll go.
Okay. I'm going to do a head count. Next time I go, I promise. I'm going to take pictures
and
of
then
all
put
of them.
me in their section. The project section. Where they get...
Do you want us to... I would go like a clipboard and just sign? Say I'm showing my friends.
No, I'm seriously. Serious. I'm not. I've been to way too many events where I was like the only or one of three, and it's not comfortable. Like, I've been golfing before. Like, I've done a whole 18 holes at the golf course, and my buddy who I went with was a white guy, and he was like, I need to go use the restroom. Come with me inside of the clubhouse. I went inside the clubhouse.
They kicked you out?
No,
or they
but
put you to work.
No, but the kitchen stopped. You know how everything just goes.
Forks are dropping,
bro. Like, I felt super uncomfortable. I texted him. I said, I'll wait outside.
Come on.
I mean,
True
golf
story.
is different than hockey, I promise.
How different?
This is like golf on ice. So they're too cold to be racist.
It's the same to me.
Too cold to be racist.
You would. Do you know what though? You would have a good time. We would have fun.
I mean, yeah, we have fun.
You really
Oh
would.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drink as much though because I need to be aware of my surroundings.
Me neither, but I would.
But yeah, invite me and I'll. We'll see.
The Trulies at the T-Mobile are a lot more expensive than the ones you bring.
Well, yeah, because they have the giant, like the Bud Light seltzers.
Yeah.
They always have like mixed berry and black cherry, and like 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
They go down real smooth, Dre.
Real smooth.
After the third one, real smooth.
All right,
All right,
we'll
he's
see.
thinking about it.
All right, moving on to UFC 300. We're going to recap this right now. We had our picks. I did pretty good. I think I only lost 3 or 4 fights. I think it was 3 until the main event. And then it was 4.
Yikes!
But we're going to talk about this. And I want to ask you guys a question. You don't watch UFC a lot, Dre, so you don't necessarily have to answer this. But Frank and people in the comments, what do you guys think? Was this the best ever UFC card? Because from start to finish, you had Cardi Garbrandt and Davison Figueiredo to open up the early prelims, to open up the whole card. And it was ridiculous. And there was more people, I think, ever for an early prelim in T-Mobile Arena, too.
Sure.
It was pretty, I mean, it was at least halfway full already for the early prelims, which it's usually the only people in there are like the family and friends of the people fighting in the early prelims and some media.
You had 12 to 14, I think, former or current champions on the same card. That's got to be some sort of record. I think that they marketed this event really well. This will be one of those cards in like 5 years that we'll be talking about. And we're like, remember that? Oh, he fought on that card too.
Yeah.
They fought on that card too. It'll be one of those things when you're talking about this card in the next 4 or 5 years. I thought they did a great job with it. It was awesome. It was cool for them to honor Chael and Anderson Silva in the fight wing. Good. And then they also honored Mark Coleman. I don't know if you heard about like his saving his family in a house fire, whatever. It was cool to have those moments mixed in there with all of the fights. But I mean, it's rare that the card lived up to and kind of surpassed the billing that it had. I thought the card was great. I thought they did a great job. And
you think they're underpaid?
Yeah, but they pay them on their experience. So I mean, the amount of fights that you have in the UFC, you get a little bit of an increase every time you fight.
Is it enough though?
For what they do, probably not. Probably not. But I thought it was a great card. I thought they did a great job.
And the fighters have to be smart too, though.
Sure.
A lot of them aren't working what they have with the UFC to get their endorsements up. And that's been an issue too, because you have a huge platform. UFC gives you a huge platform. You can go to PFL, you might make a little more money. You can go to Bellator, you might make more money for your fights. But as far as the endorsements are concerned, you can make a lot more money getting endorsements through the UFC and through what they bring with that platform. And I think a lot of fighters don't know how to utilize that yet.
It's finding marketability. I mean, I think it's you should be looking at all the things that Sugar Sean, what's that, O'Malley does. He markets himself really well, and he has a lot of things going on outside of the UFC that bring him a considerable amount of revenue. Look at the lunatic, Conor McGregor. He's got, he's doing movies and stuff. He's making appearances. He's got invested in the, what is it called? Howling Monkey, the Scotch or whatever he's got.
Oh yeah, that's it's actually good. It's
he's
really
got he's got the investments going. I think it's teaching these guys and ladies to increase their marketability and their visibility, and to cash in on it. That is like you probably earn leverage, and you probably would make more money negotiating on future fights, because a lot of these guys, they're stars in the making.
So you're saying UFC fighters need to just hire a great PR team, a marketing team to help,
or talk to the fighters that are
image.
doing it well. Yeah, maybe you don't need to hire 15 lawyers and money managers and everybody else, but you should be talking to the right people who are going to act on your behalf. When this UFC started, Dana was representing Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. he had to break that off because he was on the management side. It's a conflict of interest. Tito didn't understand it, and he carried a grudge for a decade. Chuck understood it, and he just went about his business and just kept doing what he was doing, and it worked out for him. And obviously, it worked out for Dana. So you have to lean into, obviously you lean into your strengths. Dana is an incredible spokesman and promoter for the UFC. I can't imagine another guy on earth to promote a sport like that. Because you can see it's like it comes out of his
I think
pores,
about that once in a while. What's it going to be like when he's not there anymore?
I don't know.
Like, what are they going to do? Who takes that reign over? Because that's going to be weird.
Joe Rogan.
I mean, Rogan, they're about the same age. I think Rogan's a little bit younger, but
a little bit.
And he has a lot of other stuff going on. Sportsnista said this was top 2 of all time. Over 80% of all fighters have headlined a card. It was sick.
Proper 12. That's
Michael
what it is.
said, great card,
Thanks,
one of the best ever. Nobody finds it sus that Chael goes in for a fight that he peed hot after, though. I low-key wanted them to test Alex Pereira because he looked a lot bigger. Anyways.
Alex is good, though, man.
Howler head is Dana. Okay, Dana's.
There it is. Howler head and proper number 12. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, from
12.
start to finish, though. I mean, and every fight was good. Like, I can't really name one fight that wasn't a really good and intense fight. I feel like they messed up putting Wei Li and Zhang Nan as the co-main just for the fact that after the BMF, which we knew that was going to be a good fight, it dropped off so much the momentum of
they just
the
flip-flopped
arena.
those 2 fights.
If they could have flip-flopped those and have that go into the headline, because that fight was amazing. And the Wei Li fight was still good. It was a good fight, but it was
better than I thought it was going to be.
The momentum died in the whole building with that. But like you said, it's like time to get a beer, like everyone could get up, go get a beer for the main event or whatever.
You saw in that section behind where Wei Li is.
It was empty for a while.
There are people getting up.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't want to see that. You want to have people in the seats. I mean, it's the co-main event, like you're saying. You want to have people there watching the fights. That's kind of a weird look. Yeah. But I thought the card overall was great. I loved it. And I think
exciting,
Max
man.
Holloway is ridiculous. Him and Gaethje are ridiculous.
Dude, and we've never had a watch party here at the studio where I invited everyone at 3 or 5. You can come in at 3 if you want for the early prelims,
right.
and I had a couple of people come at 3.
We had to break out the emergency chairs.
We had to break. Yeah,
Damn,
they
was
were
that
very
good?
dusty.
Wow.
Yeah, we had 20-some people in here.
Oh, wow.
It was good, man. A lot of food, extra food. We usually run out of food. We had food that we were giving out to the people in the back. You're welcome. Put your dog on a leash.
You get food.
Dog, that dog just runs around barking at people like, they have him on a leash, but they don't have him on a leash. He's wearing a leash, but he runs around. Anyways, hard to justify a real title fight. Not co-main event versus BMF. And we could also talk about the whole, pay-per-view. It was 2 Chinese fighters. So how much money did that make just off TV? So we might not have liked it, out here watching it, but China was probably all eyes on the screen for that fight. So, yeah. So I'm going to play a clip. Hopefully we don't get knocked off YouTube, but the last 10 seconds of this fight were amazing. He calls him to the middle. And I think Max doing this,
seconds.
They were already going to win 300,000 for the, and then knocks him out with 1 second left.
Yikes.
Crazy.
That was, even in the room, it erupted in the room. That was one of the craziest things I've seen because he called him to the middle. He already broke his nose. He already poked both of his eyes out. Gaethje kept fighting. Yeah. Gaethje lasted almost the entire fight till the last minute. Now, do you think Holloway might have given him some of that extra 300,000 that he won off knocking him out? Like, here, come in the middle. Let me knock you out. I'll give you 100,000 of that.
I mean,
no,
I don't know. I doubt it.
No, because that's going down as one of probably the most brutal knockouts in UFC,
especially for the timing of it. Like they
1
both,
second left.
But I love that Gaethje did engage. He called him to the middle. Let's just swing. But here's the thing. Max Holloway could have got knocked out doing that.
Sure.
And he knew that too. Like, I'm going to call you out. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose going out like this in the last 10 seconds.
He did something like that, though, before, didn't he? There was
not against Gaethje though.
No,
He did that
I'm
against
saying-
Calvin Cater, where he was
like trying
talking
call
to the
him
commentators.
Yes.
Why Cater's swinging on him and he's
tragic.
moving, ducking, and he almost killed Calvin Cater.
Yeah, man.
And Cater didn't fight for a long time after that. But against someone like Gaethje, it's a different story. It's a different story. That's one of the best fights I've ever seen. That's one of those fights I'll have on replay and won't ever get old.
I mean, had he not knocked him out, who do you think wins that fight?
Well, I mean, you goes.
Oh, he was winning that fight.
He was going to win the fight.
He was going to win the fight.
Which is my point. I wouldn't have went in there.
You wouldn't have said, "Let's go right here in the
But
middle."
here's the
just
thing.
drag it out, let the time run out.
Here's the thing.
You got
They
the
raised
win.
the bonuses from 50,000 to 300,000 for UFC 300. So they already both got 300,000 for Fight of the Night, like Sportsnista said. But Max Holloway, because he knocked him out, got 300,000 more for Knockout of the Night.
Right.
So that 1 second, he got 300,000 off that 1 second, which I think it would end up going to Alex Pereira if he didn't get that knockout. Which they might have given Alex something else for a meme of the night, because he made a meme out of
a meme of the night money. Here's 50 grand.
Well, I mean, he gets kicked in the daddy button, and then he waves the ref off. It's kind of like it reset him or something. Like he got like, yep, just go away. And then it was bad. After
it was
that.
weird. He did reset, and then Jamal went to you tap my bad. Probably shouldn't have done that, because I think that got. But here's the thing: as a fighter, you have to stay focused. And I don't know if that messed him up. Because he looked at Herb Dean, and then he, my bad, taps Alex. Alex wasn't waiting. He wasn't trying to tap.
No.
He went in with the right, ducked, and hit him. That left hand came quick.
Can I see it? I don't think I've seen that one. Or will it hurt too much to play that?
There.
Beep. Top of the nose, sleep daddy.
And then Herb gave him a little time. He got up. What I didn't like, they gave him Alex's black belt after that. He did nothing to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Well, they were talking to Holloway about it, and he was like, he goes, I don't know, that's kind of weird to me. It's like, because he's still pushing for his black belt.
Yep.
He's like,
you can't just give black belts out when you didn't even do anything.
He goes, maybe my coach is being stingy. He goes, but I didn't get my black belt because I beat KG. He goes, nobody gave me my black belt. He goes, I'm still working for it.
That was a little weird. But as far as the knockout is concerned, and Alex said this is what he wanted to do because he wants to fight in UFC 301 in Brazil, in his hometown, which might happen. I think it can, because that card is very weak. I'm not planning on buying it. If Alex ends up fighting in it, I might. But the card right now, as it stands, is weak. Jose Aldo, who I think retired, came out of retirement because they didn't have enough people fighting in this on this Brazilian card.
Alex can't fight. What's his name? Who won the last fight of the
Rockage?
Yuri?
Talking about Yuri. No, they're not going to fight because he already beat Yuri.
Well, I'm saying he can't. Well, I mean, if he was going to be set up to fight him, he can't get all the medical clearances, can he? Because don't you have to sit out a certain amount of time or something? Was he hurt at all? I don't know.
Yuri?
Yeah.
He might have been, but I don't think. It depends. But he did. I mean, I think that went 2 rounds. Was that 2 rounds or 3 rounds?
I think it was the second round they ended.
Alex can, because I mean, he barely got touched.
Alex can fight, but then he's kind of like messed up how he would be fighting the next contender that they think they were setting up. He might just wait.
And he's talking about fighting a heavyweight. He wants to fight a heavyweight. I don't think Dana's going to let him just keep bouncing from divisions, especially with the light heavyweight division. Used to be like the premier division, right? And now, like, there's been so many champions, so many new champions all the time.
Sportsnista said, "How do you get your black belt if you didn't do any grappling during the fight?"
It's true. Like, that didn't make any sense to me. So,
and then Dana puts the belt just on his shoulder.
Yeah, he put it on the shoulder because he's like, "You got your black belt."
Congratulations.
I don't know. That was a little weird to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, can he fight in 301? I think he can because he's in shape. But could he move up to heavyweight for 301? I think if he fought Tom Aspinall, I'm not sure if Aspinall's been working out to try to fight in 3 weeks.
I think they want to drag that out some more. I don't know.
But at the same time, like I said, this card for 301
it's not great.
It is not good at all.
Well, that's the trade-off of you building up a certain card to like making it so heavy. And now you're waiting like a month later, and now you
Yeah.
don't have a lot of guys to set up for the. I mean, the card
And
is
Jamal
still
was
gonna be
supposed to
good,
fight Alex in Brazil. Like that was the fight, and then it got called. They basically got called up early. It wasn't announced yet, but we knew that it was going to be 301, and they ended up getting that fight called up
I
early.
remember you saying something about it that they had been saying that originally. I don't know if Jamal was being told what, like he was talking about fighting later on, like maybe closer to the International Fight Week, which is now going to be end of June. Which now that's McGregor and
No, they had a sign for
Chandler's-
301.
Okay,
They had a
All
sign
right.
for 301. I think ultimately they thought it wasn't going to be till International Fight Week because that would have been a year from the injury,
Right.
which no one's talking about, which is a good thing, right? Like Jamal tore his Achilles. He came back and fought. No one's talking about the Achilles because he went out there. He didn't look like he was favoring that or anything.
No.
And I think people forgot, like, this dude came back after 9 months from tearing his Achilles, and he went to the same doctor as Kobe. Aaron Rodgers went to that same doctor after he got hurt, and we saw him on the field throwing around and stuff like that. And if they would have made the playoffs, he was going to try to come back for the playoffs. So that's a good doctor out there.
So let me ask you this: do you think that Alex should move up to heavyweight so that he could fight John Jones or something?
I do not right now, and John Jones wouldn't take that right away. I think Alex can in the future for sure. I definitely think that's somebody that could happen. I just don't think John Jones is going to want that at his age. I think he's going to want to fight Stipe, maybe fight Aspinall.
Yeah.
Aspinall has an interim heavyweight title because Jones got hurt. But I don't think Jones is coming back to fight Aspinall. I think the Stipe fight, like, you almost have to make that. I really don't like it. I would like John Jones to just come fight Aspinall, and then if Alex wants to come up to heavyweight, he fights the winner of that.
Right.
But John Jones isn't going to mess around either. He's not. He did it with Cyril Gane, right? He didn't let Cyril Gane swing on him. He got him to the ground right away, and I
Stuffed
think
him.
that's what you have to do with Alex.
Yeah.
Um,
John
yeah,
Jones
Jamal
is a
wasn't-
weird place.
Cassandra said Jamal wasn't out there long enough to see if there was any ring rust, which is true. But he looked really. I mean, he was in really good shape. But at the
Just
same
got
time, we don't know if it would have been if it went 2 rounds to see where he would have been. There wasn't a lot of action in the first round. They were kind of filling each other out.
Your body. If you trusted that the process you're ready to go, then you're ready to go.
Yep.
I mean, I only mentioned it about him wanting to fight later is just that if there was some external pressure, I'm saying it's like, we want to build up this card and make it a big thing. He's like, I'll just fight then, instead of like you're saying, waiting for the 301 and fighting again in Brazil. I mean,
He wasn't going to fight if he wasn't ready.
right. Exactly.
Even though
you trust,
300 was a lot more money than 301 would have been.
yeah.
Because it's a lot more pay-per-view points and all that stuff. So he got pay-per-view points on that. I don't think he was outclassed or came back too soon. I think he got caught. You just got caught. Like, that could happen to any fighter at any moment. You get caught with the right hit, and Jamal did lean in a little bit. When you look at the replay, he was leaning in a little bit, and he ducked from the right and got caught with the left. And I think it did distract a little bit with Herb Dean. Like, it almost was like stop the fight for a couple seconds, and then Alex pushed him away and said no and went at him. I think mentally maybe it wasn't the thing. I haven't talked to him about the fight actually, like as far as the the technique and everything he was thinking during the fight, but he's happy he made money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
he got paid. And here's the thing: even with Jamal, he could fight again soon.
Sure.
Because he didn't really take any damage. He got knocked out. He was out cold. He got up, didn't realize that the fight was over. You recover from that pretty quick unless you got a concussion, which he didn't. So he could fight again in the next 2 or 3 months, which I think that Yuri fight is going to happen. He's already called him out today on social media. Yuri beat Rakic, which was a really good fight. Rakic hasn't fought in a while, so that was a really good fight.
It's a great card, man.
Yuri they could possibly try to have him fight Alex again, but you're not going over Ankalaev, who's been kind of waiting. So I think as far as light heavyweight's concerned, Alex fights Ankalaev and Jamal fights Yuri. And then you kind of go from there to see what's going on. Maybe Rakic and Blachowicz fight.
Alex is just waiting.
Well, Alex would fight Ankalaev.
Maybe.
next.
Well, so then Alex is waiting. Maybe Alex gets added to this fight week card. That's July, right? Or end
possibly.
of June. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
He's not injured, so
Yeah.
he could,
So I mean, listen, I can't name a better card than this one.
No.
And I'm not sure if it's just off the hype of watching the whole thing and this being very recent. But I think overall, I would say it's the best card from start to finish I've ever seen.
It's
you got
definitely up
knockouts,
there.
you got excitement. You had Jim Miller, go full distance against Bobby King Green. Fought in all three UFC 100, 200, and 300.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was great, man. It was a great night. We had fun here at the studio. A lot of people here, a lot of good pizza. Actually, the pizza wasn't that great, but wings, canes, we had good food. But yeah, and then Sports News also said Aspinall pieces up Alex at 205. Maybe not. I just don't know. Like, how big is Alex going to look at 205? Because he looks huge well, I mean, that's at 205. At heavyweight, yeah, he'd be going up to heavyweight. So, Aspinall could be whatever weight he wants. And then Alex gained, they said 27 pounds, I think.
You just have to cut down to 225
from the weight
for
cut?
heavyweight, and then you could put on.
Then you can put on
You put the
however
water
much
weight
you want.
back on. Yeah, that's wild.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So I think I think Dana's going to make him defend one more time because Ankalaev is kind of waiting. So I think he fights Ankalaev, and then if he wins that, then maybe they let him go to 205 and see what's up there. I don't know, but
It's interesting. I mean, there's so much stuff that could come out of this card.
Yeah.
That sets up everything for the next 6 to 9 months. It's really cool. I mean, the card was great. I thought it was up there. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't want to be, stuck in it's the greatest card.
Yeah.
It was a very good card, top to bottom. And I think, like I was said earlier, in the next 4 or 5 years, we're gonna talk about how great this card was, and we'll be measuring it up. They said that UFC 400 would probably be 2032.
Wow.
You could only imagine what we'd
that's
be
every
at.
8 years, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, and I think some of these young guys that you saw that are up and coming are going to be huge names.
Your boy Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel.
Nickel.
He did all right. He wasn't happy with his performance. He wanted to end it in the first round, and he didn't. Cody Brundage hung for a little bit, and that's another fight too, bro. That could have easily. You had Aljamain Sterling. You could against Calvin Kattar. That could have easily been the main card instead of Bo Nickel. They could have made Bo Nickel the main, the last fight in the prelim.
Yeah.
There was too many other good fights to have him up there. I would even put Kayla Harrison and Holly Holm in the main. I don't know if Dana wants two women in the main card, two female fights. Kayla Harrison. Let's talk about Kayla Harrison. I forgot that fight till I just mentioned it. Dana wants Holly Holm to retire. I wanted her to retire a few fights ago. I think this was a good big name for Kayla Harrison to fight going in, making her debut in the UFC. So I think that was a good thing to be able to fight a big name, even though Holly hasn't been the same fighter in years. But Amanda. So Amanda retired because I think she was bored. She didn't have anyone else to keep fighting.
Right.
She got her belt back. But I think Amanda posted something on the internet looking like she might want to come back to fight Kayla Harrison. That's been a fight they talked about.
Like she was listening to her or something. She was something with her ear or something.
Yeah.
She's paying attention.
So I think when Amanda retired, I don't think any of us thought it was for good. I think it was for getting some other names in the UFC to be bigger names and to develop other women in the UFC. But I think with Kayla Harrison coming in, I think that's a fight I definitely want to see. Kayla Harrison went down to 135, which I did not think she was going to make weight, especially seeing her the night before at that press conference. She looked like Lou Ferrigno. And she came in the next day looking like Dana Plato.
Tragic.
Dude.
Rest in heaven, David. Dana Plato.
But she looked like, I can't believe she lost that much weight.
Kayla potentially matching up with Raquel Pennington. is ridiculous. That would be great. Great stuff for the sport. Yeah. Kayla looks like she could be special. It's the like you said, it's the first time that she's in the UFC. Think about that. You're debuting on one of the biggest cards in the history of this organization, and she didn't disappoint.
Not at all.
She stuffed Holly Holm, man. She was like ridiculous, bro. She's physical. She's tough, man. She's gonna be really hard to beat.
And yeah, Kayla just called out Pennington.
It's gonna be interesting. Do you think that motivates? Do you think Nunes will say like she wants to come back? I don't know.
I think. Listen, if Harrison could beat Pennington,
then it's a maybe.
Then I think.
Let's watch
Nunes
to see if
comes
Nunes
back.
is at the fight. If she ends up being there in the crowd, and then that could still be. They could still make that as a fight in the next.
I think it's
going
to happen, and they need that. So I think they'll pay them a lot to get Amanda out of retirement to make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
And then another thing that happened, Dana White was at the press conference or the post-fight press conference. He got handed a piece of paper, and it was announced that 302, Poirier and your boy are fighting. Poirier and why can't I think of his name? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I just drew a blank.
Come on, Frank, you're supposed to help me out.
Makhachev.
Yes. Poirier and Islam Makhachev are fighting at 301, and Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa are fighting at 301.
That's
good. I mean 302.
That's dope.
In New Jersey, and then International Fight Week in July.
303.
I said it wasn't going to happen. I said it a couple hours before. I told Sonny, who was sitting here during the watch party, that this fight wouldn't happen because I thought McGregor was done. I thought he was just an internet troll. He was going to troll forever and just keep acting like he was going to come back and never come back. But it was announced Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler are finally going to fight. Conor's finally off the steroid weight that he gained for the movie. And they get to fight, main event, headline out here in Vegas, International Fight Week. That's huge.
That's a big fight, and it's a grudge match. It seems like Michael Chandler's been calling out McGregor for like a year.
Well, I mean, they did tough together, right? They usually fight right away. The coaches for
Chandler
Ultimate
was
Fighter,
hurt, I think, right?
No, Conor never came back. Conor was on drugs.
Okay,
he was on steroids still.
Well,
so I mean,
he
couldn't pass the test. So they waited, and it's gonna happen. I'm happy because I want to see Conor fight more. I hope he has 3 more fights in him. I want to see him fight Diaz again, who Diaz said it'll happen for sure.
Oh, that'd be great.
The trilogy. So listen, and Conor, here's the thing. Conor does not have to fight for any belt ever again. And he's going to be...
You really don't.
The huge draw.
He'll be the biggest draw.
Absolutely right.
So, I'm excited. Dre, how do you feel about Conor coming back?
I think it's good for the sport. I mean, he definitely draws. He has a following for sure. And it's going to, draw a lot of, people to watch that fight. I mean, I would watch it, and I'm not a huge UFC guy, but Conor comes back. I want to see what's up.
Yeah.
Especially after the way he went out too, man. Yikes.
And that's the thing. Last time Conor fought, on Facebook, everybody is watching UFC when Conor fights.
Yeah.
And they act like they're UFC fans.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you never see them talk about UFC again until Conor fights again. Which that's fine though. Like we're fine.
I just said it. I just admitted it to it,
yeah.
right? And so it wasn't really, based on Conor, but at the end of the day, I went to the Floyd and Conor fight too, just see that little circus. So
circus, that's a good way to describe it.
Sportsnista said Raquel's out injured. Kayla could fight Amanda for the interim.
But then you've got to get Nunes to agree to come back.
She's not.
I don't think she would do that.
Which is she's my favorite.
Yeah.
They got to build that right.
They got to build it up more.
Yeah.
I think Kayla definitely needs another fight before that happens. And yeah, I can't wait though. Like I would love to see them fight.
Well, I was just looking at the card that they had, the announced fights that they have and they only have like 3. They have 4 announced fights for 303 that Conor and Michael Chandler are going to headline. I mean, that looks like a great spot for them to have either Max Holloway fighting again. You know, maybe that's where he
could have Alex fight again if he doesn't fight in 301.
He could fight at that card as well. But the week before that in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, at the Kingdom Arena,
Fight night.
it's the fight night on ABC, UFC on ABC.
Oh,
Whitaker and Chimaev.
ooh, Robert Whitaker and Chimaev. Wow,
That's good. That's good. That's an interesting fight, man.
that's
excited.
a really interesting fight. Man, Whitaker got kind of pieced up by Duplessis last time they fought. And that's the thing. That's kind of where Whitaker is right now. Like, he looks really good in some fights, and then he starts, fading off a little bit. But I'm excited about that, too. Yeah, I love UFC. If you guys aren't into UFC, Dre, get into UFC more. I know you don't like seeing people get hurt. And then in my homeboy news, Chaos Williams is fighting again. Finally, he hasn't fought for almost a year. Or it might be over a year. He's fighting May 18th out here at the Apex for UFC Fight Night against Harris. I don't even know who Harris is. So I hope Chaos comes in and knocks him out.
It ain't Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Barbosa is fighting on that card.
Kamala's busy giving Iran money.
Pretty much.
Who else?
Barbosa. Edson Barbosa is fighting Lerone Murphy on that card too. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like UFC, but like you alluded to, I don't like to see people get hurt. Yeah. When it comes to extremities, like I don't like seeing people arms broken and legs
Which could
broken.
happen anytime.
I'm squeamish.
And those could happen watching UFC without knowing.
It can happen in any sport, right?
There's a couple moments on Saturday. I mean, there was some brutality and
but I'm saying it could happen so quick when you're just watching and it's like,
right? How many times you watch the UFC fight and you're like, please tap out, please tap out, please tap out, and they're just so stubborn when they're about to get their leg or their arm broken. It's like, you rather have a broken arm than just tap out.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it. So
I'm more concerned about when you can't even. It feels like they can't even see because their face is all busted up. You're like,
I'm okay.
They call the fight. The judges.
I'm okay with that as long as the gash isn't just.
The
like
doctor was at the point where they get to the third and the fourth round with Gaethje and Holloway. The doctor just kind of like going out there to look at Gaethje. He's like, "You're good. All right. Well, all right." There's nothing he's going to say at that point.
Yeah.
He's like, the nose isn't going to get more broken. He's like, I'm going to fight.
And it was crazy because he did look tempted to blow his nose.
Yeah. Oh God.
The first right when it happened.
But we've seen that before.
Like, don't do it.
Cowboy Cerrone did that once. And when you have a broken nose, you can't blow your nose. Like, you can't. And so it just blows your eyes up, and you have to, you can't fight because you won't be able to see.
Yeah, not me. I can't. It's
wild.
I'm a little squeamish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not for Dre.
No, not for me.
All right. Moving on to any other sports. What else is going on? You guys got any other thoughts on sports or
NFL draft is next week.
NFL draft is that next week?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Oh. So we'll have a let's see. We do a show on Thursday, so I might do the show a little early.
Yeah.
Do a little draft show.
I'm with it.
All right. No, I'm excited for it.
All right, who you got? Not first pick, because we know Caleb Williams is going number one.
Like, you want like a surprise or something?
Yeah, give us the top five. Who you think's top five?
The first pick is going to be Caleb Williams, obviously, to the Bears. I think second is going to be Jaden Daniels to the Commanders. Third is probably going to be May to the Patriots. Fourth is probably going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals.
What do you to the Cardinals?
That's their pick.
Poor guy.
Man, poor guy.
Someone trade up to get him. Please.
I mean,
and then that's when all the excitement starts because the Chargers are rumored to trade their pick, and that they might trade with the Vikings, and then the Vikings could end up taking JJ McCarthy.
Now, I like McCarthy. I'm a Michigan fan. He went way up in the draft. Like, his stock went way up the last few weeks because he was really projected like later in the first round or second round.
And you know what? It's going to benefit him because he's going to be put in. I think he's going to be put in a system to where he's going to be able to learn. He might end up starting if he's playing for the Vikings by sometime midpoint in the season. Because do they have the Pastronaut still there?
I don't think so.
I don't even know.
Who did he sign with, Dre? He signed with somebody.
Niners.
He signed with the Niners.
He signed with the Niners.
Yeah. So I don't even know if he might just be the starter at some point during the season. But Bo Nix for Oregon, Penix from Washington, those guys are going to end up slipping, and somebody's going to get somebody pretty solid. Those guys now could be like second round guys.
Giants are hoping Penix drops to the second, is what I'm hearing.
Raiders are hoping that he drops to the Raiders.
I'd hope that doesn't happen.
You don't like Penix?
I
really wanted Raiders to trade up to get Jaden.
Oh, I love that too.
Yeah.
But they probably won't.
I know.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Draft's gonna be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, what are you guys going to do with Ayuk?
Sign him.
For sure?
They gotta get that figured out.
Yeah, I just think I don't like this about the Niners. They always take too long. They took too long to sign Debo. He was doing the same thing. Unfollow on Instagram, unfollow on Twitter, say I want to be traded, and then they finally give you your money and you're happy.
Do you need him to go back to the Super Bowl? Is he one of those pieces?
He's the best. He's
well,
our
then
best
if that's
receiver.
the case, why not
sign him?
Give him what he wants.
You got to give him what he wants. And they did this. They did the same thing with Nick Bosa last year. Nick Bosa ended up missing all of preseason, all of camp, and he came in. He started off slow, and I think that affected the defense. I really do. And so I hope they sign him soon. You don't have to trade anyone until next year when you have to sign Brock Purdy, and then you might have to look at trading Debo because there's too many people getting paid. And you might have to look at that. So, but no, Ayuk's our best wide receiver by far. And Debo's really good. Debo's a all-around player, and you don't want to lose him either. But I think overall, like, Ayuk is a route runner. Our only one, really.
Steelers like him.
He's a great player.
Steelers want him, too.
Yeah, but I just don't think Niners do this. So it's not like a surprise to me that a player is doing this. This is what they do. So I think they'll be fine. They're going to sign him. If they do trade him, I mean, if it gets to the point where he's like, I don't want to sign and trade me, yeah, then trade him. But you have to do that before the draft.
Yeah.
You're not trading somebody after the draft like that because you can get too many assets during the draft unless you want to trade them for picks next year. But you don't want to do that because you want to have, get a young receiver in this year's draft if you're going to do that.
There's a pretty good talent pool, though, as far as receivers go. After Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr., there's some good prospects. The Texas kid, the guy from South Carolina. There's a lot of talent. And, I mean, if it's not the worst consolation prize, if the Niners were to lose Ayuk, to take one of those guys because they're speedsters.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you have a guy like Debo that can be lined up all over the field that can do all kinds of things. You want somebody like Ayuk he becomes your deep threat.
Yeah.
And Kittle is always going to be pretty consistent. So you kind of have that, your pieces set. And you have Christian McCaffrey.
You got Marvin Harrison going, top 4, right? You said
fourth for the Cardinals.
It better, because if they let him go to the Chargers with that quarterback that they got over there, man, that may be a nice 1-2 punch.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
a future, for sure. Don't do that.
That would be nice.
But
I don't want him going to Arizona.
But the rumor
That's what
with
I'm saying, bro.
Chargers has always been that if they keep the pick, they're probably taking a lineman. They're going to they want to put somebody there.
But they
protect,
traded away all their wide receivers. So
I agree.
Go and get
I would
him.
take Malik Neighbors if I was the Chargers
Over Harrison.
For the system that Harbaugh wants to run, he wants to commit to the run. And Malik Neighbors is a little bit more gadgety. Marvin Harrison is more automatic.
And that's what I'm saying. I just don't think you pass on a talent like Harrison, man. I just
if he falls to them, absolutely. You take Marvin Harrison and then you just pick up another lineman later. Absolutely.
Because you could trade down for a lineman. There's too many people that want a quarterback to be able to trade up to get a quarterback in the Chargers position.
Yeah. None of the top three are going to take Harrison.
No.
So after the Cardinals pass on him, I don't think the Chargers would let him split.
Well, like you said, I don't want to see him going to the Cardinals. Oh, that's terrible. And I really don't want to see him going to the Giants. Any other two teams other than those two, man, for his career, man, get this guy, put him with a team that's actually competitive, or somebody that's working.
Yeah, Giants need to focus on that O-line. Their defense is okay. They need to focus on that O-line because no matter who you bring in on the offense, whether it be a running back or wide receiver, if you don't have a line, Daniel Jones is not getting the ball to you. And listen, man, people hate on Daniel Jones. He looked cracked out today in the interview. I don't know if you saw him. His eyes were like, he looked like that Jets coach a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he gets hated on a lot more than he needs to. Give him an O-line, and then if he keeps playing like this, fine. But nobody was able to play behind that O-line. Nobody can play behind an invisible O-line.
Yeah, Daniel Jones ain't it, though. O-line or not, he ain't it.
They got to the playoffs 2 years ago. I feel like if they had an O-line, you could have a serviceable quarterback like that.
They shouldn't have paid him all the money that they did.
No, they shouldn't have given him that money.
Yeah.
Make it incentive laden, the contract,
Wakey, wakey. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have randoms sleeping on the couch.
Randoms.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, dude, and I can't wait for the season to start, man. They have voluntary whatever it's called
OTAs.
today.
OTA.
Yeah, OTAs today, and I was just getting excited off of that, man. But yeah, wide receivers about to get paid. Devontae Smith just got paid, right?
Yep.
From
3
Philly.
years, $75 million.
Yeah, so you're gonna start seeing CeeDee Lamb. I think needs to get that money. There's some.
Yeah, he didn't show up. Justin Jefferson didn't show up today.
This is gonna be the offseason of wide receivers getting paid.
Yeah, but Dallas is something else, man. All they had to do was pay. What's the running back that went over to Baltimore?
Pollard.
No.
Ezekiel Elliott.
No, he went to the Ravens.
Back in the day?
No, this year.
The running back?
The running back that signed with the Ravens this year. Nothing to do with the Cowboys.
You're talking about
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Why didn't they go out
I'm
and
sorry,
get?
I misunderstood.
No, why didn't they go out and get Derrick Henry for $14-15 million, like for the low?
And
They
because
didn't
Ravens
call, they
did
didn't,
about it,
they
he
didn't
was
call
upset.
him or Saquon Barkley.
That makes no
Derrick
sense
Henry
to me.
would have went to Dallas. I thought he was going to
in a
Dallas.
heartbeat.
But so you didn't do that, but now you're going to turn around and pay CeeDee Lamb. They're not going to do that either.
No.
Tragic.
Come on, bro. I
To a
don't
corner.
understand.
And then you see what he signed with the Ravens for, and you're like, Dallas, you could
You could have given that easy.
You couldn't have paid that, and now you're reaching back out to Ezekiel Elliott. Come on, bro. Only because he said that he would, come back for the low, but he said that before you even got rid of him. If that was the case, and you got rid of and you didn't re-sign Pollard or go after your guy, why would you even get rid of?
I agree.
It just makes no sense. And so,
I don't
and
know.
it doesn't show me that Dallas, Jerry Jones is putting a good product out there for his quarterback to actually go out and win games. Come on, man.
It doesn't make any sense to me either. It's very strange. Just what you said. You didn't. I don't even think Derrick Henry. You could hear it in his voice. Like he was upset. Like they didn't reach out to me. Like there was no offer on the table.
And then you
They
see
weren't
the amount of
negotiating.
money that Ravens signed him for. It was like, wow,
And
for the low.
And not only do you not reach out, like you have an agent that probably did reach out, right? And so they didn't reach back out.
Didn't reach out. They didn't.
Because
They didn't
the
return a
agent
call.
had to say, like, hey, if you guys are interested, he's willing to talk, right?
You don't think that would have helped Dallas team?
Yes. Bro, that would have been scary. I don't want to see Derrick Henry in the playoffs.
I was like, okay, well then maybe they're not going to get Derrick Henry. Maybe they have an opportunity to get Saquon. Then when Saquon got taken, I was like, oh, they're getting Derrick Henry. They should. Ravens?
And
Okay.
then once
Pollard?
once your boy from Raiders, Josh Jacobs
Oh,
went to
God.
Green Bay, then you had a chance to sign or trade for Aaron Jones
And didn't.
and didn't
And they
sign
didn't do
with
that either.
And then you let Pollard go, and now
you're signing Zeke again.
They don't really. But
They're
they,
going to end up signing Zeke.
to be
For low.
But in their defense, the Cowboys don't have they really don't have that much money to spend. They have to restructure.
Bro,
a
you
lot
go
of
into
stuff.
the luxury tax.
But Aaron Jones
it's
would have been a
hard cap,
trade.
though. They can't really spend over. They'd have to ask people to renegotiate, and Dak is not going to renegotiate. He's got 1 year left.
I mean,
And he's
if
gone.
Dak-
A lot of people renegotiate,
if
though.
Dak
I don't
wants
think
to
they would've.
win, he would do like other quarterbacks like Pat Mahomes and say, you know what, I'll restructure my deal in order to get Derrick Henry over here. What are we talking about?
Yeah, but he already
absolutely.
had a problem trying to get that deal in the first place. So he's not restructuring a deal that they weren't trying to give him and they franchising him and stuff.
Well, if that's the case, then get rid of him.
And they might.
If Dak,
They
if
might.
you
And they
think
might.
he's that selfish,
Because they have to pay him again. It's payday.
time to
again.
go then.
Yeah.
Raiders, you're on the clock.
And listen, be selfish, man. Get your money.
Yeah, I'm not hating on nobody that get their money, but if that's the case, don't be mad when you guys don't win.
Yeah, well, they're not going to win anyways with whoever they got because they're the Cowboys.
Michael Irvin is not walking through that door.
They said you could see the eclipse really well in Dallas last Monday, and they were like, "That's the only ring Dallas has seen."
It's
in a
tragic.
while. So
It's tragic.
That's fair.
yeah. And here is Team USA roster: LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, who could have played for 3 different countries, I believe.
Pretty much.
Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Bam Adebayo.
That's a good look, man.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander said, we're not worried about Team USA. Canada has 3 good players. You better worry about Team USA.
Is that the whole team? Let me see. They got some. They got room for some reserves, right?
They still have roster spots.
So they got roster spots. I mean, you can, go out and go get some serviceable roster guys. I mean, I think this would be a good experience for Zion to go out there and stay in some shape and play with some older veterans to get him.
It's interesting.
Yeah, go Zion. Come on, bro. I mean, use this opportunity to play with LeBron, KD, all of the other Devin Booker, all of the other guys that is going to push you to be the best that you can be during this USA run. And I think he needs something like this.
Spend time around the guys. You see their preparation.
He needs something like this, man.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
And it helps the USC team out, too, because he's a dog, right? When he wants to play.
When he's engaged.
Right, when he's engaged.
Bro, let Bronny James play. He's...
bro.
I mean, he put his name in the draft.
And the transfer portal, too.
Yeah.
Do you draft Bronny James?
To what?
To the NBA.
No.
Go out and get Brunson. Brunson can play with this team, too.
Let's say LeBron comes with Bronny James.
No.
Now do you draft Bronny?
No.
Really?
No.
With the chance to get LeBron for two or 3 years?
No. What's my team?
Name a team.
I know that I've got Bronny and LeBron. And I got everybody. Who else am I going to have?
The Knicks.
Are they going to Utah?
The Knicks.
Maybe.
The Knicks.
We know Utah loves the brothers.
The brothers. We're brothers. We're happy and we
Hey, there's more brothers at the Golden Knights games than there are in Salt Lake.
Pretty much.
Well,
Probably.
the Knicks.
Then
Get rid of Julius Randle. Bring LeBron James over there to play with your boy Brunson, and bring Bronny over there. Yeah, there you go.
Now, is LeBron's stipulation that Bronny has to actually play in the league, or can he be on a 2-way or just play in the G League?
He just wants him in the league, bro.
He just wants to see him drafted.
But I'm saying, is it something where you can't send him down to the G League? Like, he has to be on the active roster like Giannis's brother.
I mean,
You're talking about a guy that this kid averaged 5 points a game. That's at SC.
I mean,
So NBA players,
he wasn't a starter, though,
I was
either.
watching Gil's Arena, and all the NBA players
They
were
say
saying
he's-
he's an NBA player.
they say he's
not a
NBA
college
ready.
player.
Yep.
He's an NBA player. Is he a superstar? No, but he's NBA ready. Really good defense.
I'm tend to go with former NBA players because trust me, former NBA players will tell you if a guy is not good or
If
not.
it was just hype, they
and
would-
let
they
me
would
tell
hate
you,
on it.
they're all
Yeah.
saying that he is an NBA player and not a college player. I've seen that before.
Coming off the heart.
I think the verdict's out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw him play at SC. Like I saw 4 games this
Yeah, I
year
watched
with
a few
Bronny.
games.
I mean, we can all
And
get our
it was-
GMs on, right? Michael Jordan
Yeah.
did it for a while. He picked Kwame Brown, let's be honest.
Yep.
And he thought Kwame Brown was going to be the next high school player to do
Right.
something. It's a crapshoot.
It
Any way
could-
you go.
it could
Monte Ellis,
happen.
when he played for Golden State Warriors, he came out of high school. Him and Lou Williams were the 2 top high school players in high school during that time, and both of them drafted into the league out of high school. Who would have known that Monte Ellis was going to be that good, or Lou Williams were going to be that good?
No, Monte Ellis definitely, I think, surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he performed at a high level for sure.
Yeah, for a long time.
Absolutely.
Lou Williams too. So it's really a crapshoot, man. It's a crapshoot. Then you get Perkins, who came out of high school, and he just happened to be put on a championship roster team already. It wasn't like Perkins was out there, giving you 15 and 15 every game. He just wasn't.
That's true.
He wasn't.
That's true.
Dwight Howard was a crapshoot out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they're doing Dwight Howard right now in the NBA is kind of foul, man. The way that he put up those numbers for Orlando and he's played so good over the course of his career, and he's an NBA champion, man.
Yeah, but you just see vets. I mean, they
retire
a lot of these players talk about this all the time. Like they don't know when they're retiring. They think they have another year, and they just don't get that call.
Yeah.
And part of the problem is like these rookies, we need to develop them, and they're going to cost us a lot less because there's still a vet minimum that you have to pay. Some of these players, but I think he definitely could have been in the league the last 2 years. We saw what he was doing in China, but a lot of players go over to China and put up crazy numbers, and it looks, spectacular. But
sure. Seth Marbury has they wrote a play or something about him and put a statue up for him. And
can we talk about statues?
I mean,
I was mad about this AI statue. It was like trophy size until I saw like their practice facility has they unveiled a statue for AI last week. Did
Allen Iverson?
Yeah. In
Seriously?
Yeah,
but
you might want to see it.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were messing with me.
No, they yeah. A lot of people were upset.
Oh, people were outraged because what don't people on the internet do, Dre?
They don't do research.
They don't research.
And they don't read.
I didn't even know that this was a thing. I didn't know it was real.
Yeah.
So this is his statue.
It's a keychain.
So Frank, your initial thoughts?
What?
So we've seen a lot of statue unveilings, right? Kobe just had one.
What's the statue budget in Philadelphia? Just in general, like
the budget.
Who's their statue guy?
Who's the sculpture guy?
Yeah,
I thought it was Demi Moore in Ghost, but it obviously he probably was.
If you guys are still watching, let us know what you think about the AI statue. Let us know in the comments. But then we actually clicked on the link, right, Dre? Like this is what you need to do instead of just reacting to the headline.
Yeah.
You click on the link and realize that it's the practice facility. And if you see right next to him, there's another little statue.
But no, watch. You'll see. You'll see.
Where's the picture?
It's a row of them.
It's a row of Philly greats from the NBA.
Yeah.
The Moses Malone.
Okay.
So they're all that size.
So
there's a
of them.
row.
Like as you're walking, there's a row of statues. There's not
like
just
he's
this
standing
tiny
in front of a bank.
Yeah, but then you got
like...
Rocky Balboa, who's bigger than life. Who's not even a real character. Stop
so
it.
They show that.
It's tragic. It's tragic.
I mean,
Rocky next to his statue. Well, Sylvester Stallone next to the Rocky statue because he's not real.
Well,
and AI next to the real AI statue.
AI is only 6 feet, but I mean,
no, he's like
right
6'2".
Okay,
for sure.
So, and I don't mind them doing this, right? Now that we know that the statue is part of a whole row of statues that they put out in front of the practice
and it wasn't
facility.
no slight because every other
is like that
100 statues are that size.
You got Moses Malone. You have Dr. J. All of them, like all the Philly greats. Charles Barkley, I'm not sure if he's up there because Philly doesn't like him for some reason.
Which I think that's pretty dope. Like you have a walkway with like 100 statues and all of them are that size. I think Lakers should have did something like that because, I mean, I want to see Magic out there. I want to see a Worthy statue. I want to see some, Kareem statue. I want to see some of these great
But
Lakers.
This is in the front of the stadium, right? So you could do something like that in front of Lakers practice facility. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been better to give AI a real statue in front of the where Philly plays. I don't know. They change their name every year.
Fargo, Wachovia, banking.
But I don't think he should have a big one over Dr. J though. That's not happening.
Does Dr. J have one there yet?
I don't know.
Do they have?
He has a little one, but not a big one.
No, I'm saying
does
it's the actual
stadium. Does he have a keychain one that they have in this?
Yeah,
row
Dr. J has.
Dr. J has one. Okay. I want to see the one Dr. J come from on the other side of the rim, or maybe the cradle.
J and Iverson should both have statues in front of the building if all these other teams are doing it.
Yeah. Does Charles Barkley have one for the Sixers?
I wouldn't necessarily give him one because he didn't do anything in Philly.
For the Sixers?
No, he didn't get far in the playoffs ever.
He's a good Sixer player, though.
He was good. I think
it catapulted him getting the contract that he did for the next team, for the Phoenix team.
The Sixers Legends Walk.
That's man.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Ah,
Yeah, but everybody
cool.
was outraged for days when they saw. I can't believe you didn't see that.
because of the size of the
yeah,
statue.
I mean, it's keychain size.
Well, they thought it was like a
medallion.
because we heard he was getting a statue like the day before, and then they
Charms.
show it,
Yeah,
and we were like, wait, what? Did he get punked?
yeah, nah.
But so he already knew, like he knew
Yeah.
what the road looked like.
You thought you saw it. You thought he was like standing really close to the camera. Or something.
No, I was just like, that's pretty foul. He could put that in
Yeah,
his
we
pocket.
thought they were doing him dirty.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's
That's great.
keychain size, but all of them have.
Yeah, all
their
other
own
statues
little
are the same
statues,
size,
which is
so no
dope.
slight says Tamika bolted.
Yeah, so
All right.
Yeah.
no slight.
And then this is Team Canada, some of their best players. They don't have a bad squad, to be honest, but it's not
Against that-
LeBron.
First off,
and
is that Wiggins?
Yeah.
Where has he been?
he's been balling.
When? How long?
The past couple months, he's been balling for Golden State.
No, I don't know about months, maybe weeks.
Maybe. I mean,
Wiggins has been in and out because he got a little off the court stuff
man.
going on
Still.
with the baby.
like he doesn't know those
mama.
kids are his or his brothers. Is it his brother or his friend?
I think it's his best friend.
His best friend.
That's tragic.
It's brutal.
Ladies, listen.
You know what?
if you're gonna cheat, don't.
Nah, don't
And
do
if you're a
that.
best friend, don't cheat with.
Don't do that.
And now the kids like 5 or 6. I'm looking at the kids like, you really ain't mine. I'm gonna need you to grab your stuff up out that room
Yeah,
up
but,
there.
but then you already raised
Nah, I ain't
them.
gonna do
You already
that.
raised them for 5 or 6 years. Like
yeah,
that's
well,
wild.
hey, you had a good life while you was here. Go enjoy my best friend who is on that nice $30,000 a year budget.
Dang,
Wow.
that's wild.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
Team Canada, they'll be fine. I mean, they're going to be competitive.
Yeah.
But I mean,
They're not. They're not.
they're not winning the gold.
No. I mean, like I said, not Lakers. USA has plenty room to add some reserves. They can go and add a couple guys from New York or one guy from New York, their best player right now. Couple other guys you can add. I would add Fox. Fox could play on that squad.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got room. You got room for some nice reserves.
You don't know if they announced this roster. You don't know if all these guys are going to make it.
Right.
So when they play the Olympics,
Right.
somebody might
And then
opt
you got
out. Somebody has a
right. Then you got
surgery.
LeBron, who's a little older. He's not going to be probably commanding a lot of minutes. You got AD, who you're praying that he doesn't get hurt.
And
in
they're
USA.
saying they're only going to have one more open spot because there's already
11 guys. I think
11.
They announced 10 or 11.
Go
they
get
announced.
Fox, man, or Brunson.
So let's look at the point guards. They have. They already have Halliburton.
And that's it.
Steph,
Nope,
who's not.
Steph's the two.
Drew
Stop.
Holiday, LeBron.
Go
I don't know
get
if you need any point guards.
Yeah.
These are all ball handling.
I'll take a Brunson.
Devin Booker.
I'll take a Brunson or Fox right now.
Yeah, I mean Brunson. I think he's proven he could play in this. But Fox, that'd be great.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Steph and De'Aaron Fox playing together in the same backcourt. That'd
Come
be
on,
ridiculous.
bro.
That'd be
That'd be
nice.
ridiculous.
Come
That'd be
on, bro.
nice.
You add some speed
And
in the
Devin
back.
Booker.
Add some speed in the
gross.
backcourt. Is Devin Booker on that squad too?
Yeah, Devin Booker, Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, maybe another shooter or something like Bradley Beal if he can stay
Oh
healthy.
no.
Can Joel
I don't want
Embiid
Bradley
switch
anywhere.
jerseys at halftime and then go play for Cameroon?
Or what about Dame Lillard for that squad? I think that'd be a good look for him
He'd be
too.
moving to his apartment in Miami.
Yeah.
He kept his place in Miami. He bought that house because
You bought a place.
I mean,
He's like,
anybody.
I'm going to Miami.
If you,
I'm going to
if
Heat. Like,
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I would keep my place in Miami if I
of
would.
course, South Beach,
Taxes, saving money on taxes.
babes, sharks, all that stuff.
Nets are gonna hire Kings top assistant Jordy Fernandez as their next head coach.
Okay,
I don't know who he is, but Nets are gonna hire him.
all right.
All right, cool.
Good job, Nets. You're still keeping Ben Simmons too, and good luck with that.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Anyways, watch the NBA play-in tournament tomorrow. I'm very hyped about this. Playoffs start this weekend. It's the best time for the NBA. NFL draft next week. So make sure you check that out as well. And get your tickets to the Aces and Fever July 2nd.
We're gonna be there.
You want to go?
We're going.
It's a Tuesday, I think.
Hey,
Let's go.
I'll go.
Yeah. It's a T-Mobile Arena.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Boom.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Please follow us, like, and subscribe to the channel if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter.
See if I can find a
X.
good jersey dress. Just find.
Mariah has some.
Let's go.
My couch is over there laughing.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Little.
Subscribe to the channel, Gorilla Cross Sports, Unnamed Sports Show. Peace.